some may be here for recently claiming a series win at Missouri. However, the second game in Columbia ended up being the first loss of the season, snapping a 31-game win streak. First pitch from Wichita, a look at the starting lineup for the Sooners out of Norman, Oklahoma. Brought to you by Groundworks, Nellie Mackinac, Oklahoma. What does that say to you, Maddie Espinoza?
I mean, it's just a competitive team. They're stars. They work hard. They're strong. They can hit. They can field. They can.
Recently played on the road against UTSA. Went 2 1/3. Scattered 6 hits over those 2 1/3 innings there. Taste of Caitlin Beckerly. But it's Gabby Scott who's in the starting lineup once again. Sammy Hood and Taylor Solacek manning the middle. Beautiful day for some softball. Sellout crowd. Number 2 team in the country in the house.
Yeah,
as a former player, I would imagine that this is exactly the series in Columbia to Missouri. It's a brand new week for Oklahoma. Can't wait to see what Oklahoma can bring to the table here in the brand new week. Starting things off, Abigail Dayton for OU, and she watches the first one for a called ball. Dayton, the junior, batting average of .321 this season. The one thing you got to get used to in the Oklahoma lineup, good amount of lefties. That was the one thing you said as soon as you saw the lineup. Look at all the lefties, and what does that do when you have a pitcher like Alex Aguilar who is a righty trying to combat that?
I mean, I will say Alex Aguilar is pretty well at hitting that inside corner for lefties, which is not always a plan of attack for most people, and that could also be why she is the starter of this game, because she's able to hit that inside and not be afraid to move in a little bit on those hitters. So, I mean, it could go either way. I don't know. Alex has had some pretty good games in her, her repertoire with the really good teams. I mean, those top teams she's pitching against, so they're a great team, good athletes. They're well aware of their strong suits.
Well, the one thing you mentioned, Wichita State is going to be amped up, but sometimes that can result in maybe some misplays defensively.
For sure. Sometimes you get a little too amped up and you're not able to calm yourself down. You put a little bit too much pressure on yourself, so it could go one or both ways.
Cassidy Pickering batting third for Oklahoma today, the left fielder. Sophomore out of Humboldt, Texas. Has 2 runners in scoring position and a 2-0 count in her favor. Made an immediate impact as a true freshman in 2024. Earning an everyday role, playing the outfield, anchored the heart of the Sooner order. Appeared in all 66 games. Slash line of .389, .513, and .705. Ranked 3rd on the club in on-base percentage. And that's the thing with Oklahoma. Even though names might be different, you're not used to the big ones that hang around for 4 years. Well, you do have players like this who are freshmen or in their sophomore campaigns, and you just look at them and go, oh, they still have a couple more years to go before they get to their moment where they're a 4th-year player. And they're already producing at such a young age. That's what makes it dangerous for so many teams out there in the country.
Yes. They're only able to grow over the years, especially with their coaching. I mean, they're getting great athletes recruited in, and then they're able to just build them and continue to build them.
3-0 count. She got the green light, but Pickering ends up fouling it off. You have 3 sophomores in the starting lineup for Oklahoma today. 2 freshmen, 3 juniors. Starting pitcher is a junior, and you have 1 senior. For the cleanup hitter, and Gabby Garcia. Mentioned the amount of freshmen in the lineup. Well, here's one of them from Chandler, Arizona. Gabby Garcia. Ends up taking the first one for a ball. She had a 14-game hit streak come to a close in that second game against the Missouri Tigers. The game that Mizzou won 3-1.
And they're going to be a little bit amped up over that loss. And, sometimes that's not great for their opponent because they come out ready and hot after losing. Yes, they obviously clinched the series, but still, this is a winning team.
The 1-1 fouled off. And Alex Aguilar in a great situation here with a chance to get that first out for the inning. But Garcia is going to make her work with a batting average of .390. She also is in double figures for homers with 10. Defending the plate, 1-2, fouled off once again. Good amount of people here for this one. Number 2, Oklahoma, Wichita State. Sellout crowd. They installed some bleachers in right field and a good amount of people there for today. Of course, you got a porch out in left. A few people out there as well. The 1-2 also fouled off.
And she's just working it in the box. She knows what she's aiming for, and till it's her pitch, she's gonna foul them off.
Took her spot, went 4 1/3 in relief and did quite well. But it's Alex Aguilar, the junior, getting the start today for Wichita State. And going after the first pitch was Parker, and Aguilar blows it by her. Ella Parker, .436 for her batting average.
Wow.
What's even crazier, her batting average.
First baseman, Sydney Sanders.
Sydney Sanders, first baseman. Looking to keep things rolling for Oklahoma with 2 runners in scoring position. Free base over at first base now for the senior. Watches the first one for a ball. Sanders, a season ago, 242, 451, 637 for the slash line. She was third on the team with 15 home runs, drove in 50 runs in total. This one too tall, it's 2-0. Started off at Arizona State, was a first-team All-American as a freshman, and then ended up in Norman, where she has just continued to produce down the third base line for a single.
She just gets that down with ease, puts it in a perfect spot, and she's fast. I'm telling you, those Oklahoma girls, they are good. I mean, they got everything in the game. They really do. Just straight athletes.
Number 8 hitter Isabella Emmerling behind the dish today for Oklahoma. .254 batting average for the redshirt junior out of Martinez, California. Third stolen bag of the season for Bland. And now Dayton, talked about Bland having just 3 RBI. Well, Dayton's got 3. She has a chance to maybe make it 5 runs batted in if she can find a sweet spot in the outfield. Alex Aguilar trying to close things out. 0-2 count now. Oklahoma finding some good spots early on here in the contest. Went after the 0-2 and just fouled it off. Abigail Dayton, 2025 preseason All-SEC. Third-team All-American when she played with Utah. Just hanging in there, just protecting the plate, staying at 0-2. Season ago at Utah, batted .431, also was a stellar defender. .02 ends up hooking foul, and we'll see another pitch here. Just chopping away just to make sure that Alex Aguilar doesn't get the punch out.
She just keeps shortening up her swing. She's doing what she needs to do, fouling off until she gets the pitch she wants. So composed.
What's the famous line? If you want to be like me, ka-chow. Is that the famous line there for cars? Pretty sure that's the case for Lightning McQueen as Nelly and McEnroe Marinas fouls this one off. Hey, if you're going to start quoting, Pixar movies, then game on. McEnroe Marinas end up singling earlier this inning. Barber switching it up, and McEnroe Marinas swings through it. It's 1-2. Last time out for Barber, scoreboard, because she used it as a target. Second home run for Ellie Eck as a Wichita State Shocker. Wichita State trims it to 7. Heck of a way to start for Wichita State. You give up 8 in the top half, and your first hitter goes yard.
That's awesome.
Lauren Lucas, starting right fielder, extended her hitting streak to 12 games with a hit yesterday for WSU in that 6-1 win over Central Arkansas. It was an RBI double for her in that 5-run win. Last time these two teams played, this was the final score, 8-1, and we've already reached it in the first frame. I know that following this game, there'll be some post-game fireworks, but we're already seeing plenty of them already here in this contest as Taylor Solacic takes the first one for a ball. Solacic at .321 for the batting average. Added to her walk total of 23 yesterday against Central Arkansas. A little ways to go, though, to catch up with some of the players for Oklahoma. They have 3 players over 23 walks, including Pickering with 31 on the season already at this point.
Wow.
Deal just lost the touch on that one.
It happens. Is it nothing but a thing?
Deal 6-0 this year, 2.19 ERA. 28 Ks to 17 walks. Three balls, one. Who's really been seeing the ball well for Wichita State at the plate.
She gets the job done.
And now the one who started the home run party is now at the plate, Ellie Eck.
That was not just a home run. That was a laser beam. For real. If there was not a net out there, I don't know if that board would be okay.
Eck, hard hit ball down the first base line, but a little bit too far to the right, however. Goes as a foul ball. 2 really powerful swings from Ellie Eck.
Yeah, she came out guns blazing today.
Open up the third frame. I don't think Isabella Emmerling meant to do that. Ends up being a foul ball.
That ball came off hard off her bat, and she barely even swung. That just shows you.
The raw power.
The Sooners are strong. Sooners strong. Come on.
Isabella Emmerling with an RBI single back in the first frame. Chloe Barber mixing up the pitches here today. She's been showing a little bit of everything today.
Yeah.
Hasn't just all been about power. It's been a little bit of everything for Chloe Barber in relief.
Yeah, she's utilizing that off speed, and that's a nice changeup, I will say.
Well, she came in the first, recorded a strikeout to close the first frame. Then she gave up a walk, a 2-run homer, and then ground out and a couple of pop-ups.
Not bad.
Maybe she has found her rhythm for Wichita State. Emmerling thought about it for a moment. Instead, she'll take a 3-1 count. Emmerling in her first season with Oklahoma was at North Carolina before.
The ball was hit too hard.
We all can't be Matty Espinosas. We all can't catch those.
I don't know about that.
Emmerling with an impressive display of power, our 4th homer for the day. Maya Bland, 2 RBI hit back in the first. As a freshman, ended up being Oklahoma's top pinch runner in 2024. Had 8 stolen bases. Only had 18 plate appearances in total, but getting some more work here today for the Sooners.
Sometimes you got to help your team in whatever way you can, and she obviously did that last year.
Well, it wasn't that long ago when she was in high school. She was actually rated the number 11. Sure looked like that would be the 3rd home run for Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was shaking in my boots. I didn't know whether it was going to go over or she was going to catch it, and barely stayed in. Good catch by Eck.
And Dayton here, so a lot of power coming from her in the leadoff spot, but that one almost had the distance. Instead, it's the first out of the 3rd. Ellie McEnroe-Marinas. She has shown that she can hit the long ball with a home run in 5 of the last 7. With a single back of the first, she has extended her hit streak up to 8 now. First time she faced Chloe Barber, actually struck out. Let's see how she handles the pitcher second time here. Gabby Scott with a good block to make sure it didn't sneak by.
Yeah, you really got to be a brick house with the Sooners on those bases because they are beauty, they are grace, and they will steal that base. So don't mess with them.
Oklahoma. Cassidy Pickering with a 7-game hit streak now. Brings her home run total up to 10 after that one. (14-3) Oklahoma. Gabby Garcia. She's the one that had a 2-run blast in the second frame to get the home run derby started for Oklahoma. 2 for 2 with 3 runs batted in. She's just been super impressive. Already named SEC Player of the Week just a couple of days ago. And you want to know how good she has it. She became the first Oklahoma freshman since Jocelyn Allo in 2018 to homer in 5 consecutive games.
Wow.
If your name is associated with her, is that a good thing? I think it would be.
I think so. One of the best players I've ever seen.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Gabby Garcia. Yeah, those home runs take place against Kansas,
Woo.
Marshall, Kansas City, and then 2 against South Carolina.
Just an impressive offense. I don't even know what to say.
Wichita State, the Shockers checking in the top 60 at 57. They have already faced 10 teams in the top 65. That includes Oklahoma, and now this is going to help on that front as we see Lauren Lucas, Brooklyn Levonick, and Taylor Solacek all coming up for WSU. We have Sydney Barker in the game for Oklahoma. She's over at first base right now for Oklahoma. And we also have a change in center field as Hannah Kaur replaces Dayton. So Oklahoma mixing in some different players here. Lucas fouls it off. 12-game hit streak for Lauren Lucas. Ended up extending it yesterday in the 5th with that RBI double. One of two major players to miss all of last year for Wichita State due to injury, her and Cameron Compton.
As you can tell, they're both already having a year.
Lauren Lucas leading the charge with 39 hits on this season. Compton with 6 homers. Lauren Lucas hanging in there, 3-2 count. Trying to find that one pitch she wants to send out to try to extend. And then last inning, you had Jody Epperson with that double. Lauren Lucas getting on with a walk. So at least Wichita State trying.
Yeah, Wichita State is, I mean, they're producing offensively. It's just Oklahoma, they can hit and they can get on and they're fast and they're aggressive. So, you know, sometimes it's a little bit hard to combat.
Last double-digit run game for Oklahoma was against number 15 Arkansas to wrap up the series. The high for the year for Oklahoma for runs on the board being 17 against Kansas City.
Only 3 shy of that today.
Earlier this month. 17-1 being the final score in 5 innings. Oklahoma top 10 in the country in numerous categories. Runs per game at 8.3, which is number 5 in the country. On base percentage, collectively .469, which is good for 4th. Slugging percentage at .650 for 5th. And then ERA-wise, already noted that before, but .190, which is good for 5th in the country. But now has her RBI total up to 19 on the year. Solacek was unable to come up with an RBI yesterday against Central Arkansas, but she's been able to drive in a run in 4 of the last 5 contests for Wichita State. Maybe another player that's getting hot at the plate for WSU.
Ooh.
Compton ends up fouling it off.
It's just refreshing that she's able to come back from an injury. You know, she didn't play every game at the beginning of this season, and now she is, and she came ready, and she's doing so well, and that's what you like to see. Sometimes coming back from injuries are really difficult, and, you know, obviously she took it head on, and she's doing her thing now. It's really cool.
A couple years back in 2023, she batted .188, had 3 home runs total. She has doubled that this year. went with a check swing here. I know the Oklahoma fans wanted that to be a punch out for Deal. Instead, Cam Compton will get another chance here. Yeah, there's one fan. You can hear that one pretty good. Good amount of Oklahoma fans in the stands. Of course, that shouldn't surprise anyone considering just how great of a program they've been. And everyone wondered what it would have been like for them going over to the SEC. Well, here this year, with one conference loss, they won in the SEC. And for the first time in this game, the Shockers have put more runs on the board in a half inning than Oklahoma. I remember when I told you about the back-to-back 10-9 wins. Well, Wichita State has matched 9 runs, the most surrendered by Oklahoma this year.
Yeah, and you talked about how Coach Brett Bender, she's not scared to put you up with the top dogs, and this is exactly why, because Wichita State, they have that press, they have that grit. They're a mid-major, but they can work.
One down.
Now at the plate, Alana Agbayani.
Agbayani now to the plate. She is 1 for 2 today, singled back in the first. Agbayani coming from BYU, established herself as one of the best hitters in a breakout sophomore campaign for the Cougars. Ended up starting 52 games as the everyday shortstop, but a shortstop that can get on base with the best of them. .424 being the batting average. 1.128 OPS. Did not strike out all that much. Had 7 Ks and 208 plate appearances last year.
Wow.
I'm sure some might recognize the last name, Agbayani. Dad, Benny, played 400 games across 5 seasons in Major League Baseball. Played for the Mets, the Rockies, the Red Sox. She had a sister that played collegiate softball at California, BYU. Has a brother that's committed to. Fourth walk drawn by Oklahoma.
Now to plate the catcher, number 13, Isabella Emmerling.
The Sooners came into this game being number 1 in the country with 169 walks. And runner goes on this one, ends up being popped out of play though.
I don't know if it's because pitchers are trying not to give them anything that they can hit because they hit so hard, or if it's because OU is simply
but instead ends up going as the second out in the fourth.
Now batting Maya Bland.
Well, so many impressive performances in this one. I don't know how we're going to choose a player of the game. I don't know how we're going to choose a play of the game. The crew back there might just have to do a montage of all the hits and just say, hey, everyone hits. 14-9 Oklahoma.
Yeah, Gasso's got it going on.
Really the standard in college softball. You look at how many wins that she's been able to produce, over 1,400. Quite a bit there.
Yeah.
I say over 1,400. I shortchanged her 100, over 1,500, 1,543. That's what happens when you try to remember. But a winning percentage of 813, which is just absurd. Yeah,
I don't know about you, but I want to be her.
I was talking to someone about her earlier today. They're like, how many wins? Go, 1,543. Okay, how many losses? Go, 353. So she's around in the third, and Lauren Lucas ends up kicking off the bottom of the fourth with a leadoff walk. With Oklahoma winning that national championship last year, OU is the only softball program to win 4 consecutive national titles. And just one of 3 programs in NCAA history to win more than 2 national championships.
Lord. I mean, they're superb.
2 balls, 1 strike for Brooklyn Levonick. And it looks like we have a ball that comes from the stands. Ritro. Looks like we had a kid playing with the ball there for a moment. By the way, lots of people here in attendance. It's actually a record breaker for Wichita State. 1,245 people in attendance. The previous largest crowd was 1,115. That was number 12 LSU. That was on March 16, 2017. But here you are with over 1,200 fans in the stands.
And I definitely feel with the renovations to Wichita State Stadium, you know, that could be even more in the future. And it's really refreshing to see for the Shockers.
Well, you have a commitment. Christy Bredbender has done a tremendous job of building this program. And now you're seeing the backing in many, many ways. Of course, the fan support is the easiest thing to see. But whenever you look at that, be correct.
Don't give me too much credit.
Maya Bland, she's had a good day today for Oklahoma. And that's probably why Wichita State chose to go ahead and walk Emmerling, because you have Bland, who came into today's game with a batting average of 118. But don't sleep on her. Her first plate appearance was a 2 RBI single. And then she added to the hit total in the third frame. You can hear Oklahoma fans not enjoying that call. It's an 0-2 count in favor of Sliger. (0-2), similar spot, just a smidge further. 1-2. In case you're wondering what the all-time record is for Oklahoma for runs for the opponent, but I don't know, for this Wichita State team that has been looking for some different answers, especially at the plate. You're going to look back at this one for your coach, Brett Benner, and go, okay, we can play with that. We can work with that a little bit more, especially going into an important series this weekend against South Florida. Krista Nelson, the number 9 hitter, to open up the bottom of inning number 5. And an RBI single in the second. Shockers have been able to get a run on the board each frame. But things might be a little bit different with Sam Landry being in the circle. She's had some time to rest up a little bit, or maybe go to the bullpen area and get loosened up a little bit more.
Landry is working that inside corner with Nelson and been close to hitting her a couple of times, but I mean, that ball is just moving. Got down.
Her reaction probably tells a story a little bit, and that is, oh, okay, I guess I'll take it. I don't think she was too pleased with herself, but with the Shockers getting that hit, They are now in double digits with 10. Brooklyn Levonic still searching for that first hit. A couple of grounders, walked in the fourth frame. Her and Lauren Lucas in the fifth frame yesterday against Central Arkansas. Lucas was 0 for 2, then had an RBI double to make it 12 consecutive games with a hit. Then Levonic 0 for 2 in the fifth, then had a 2 RBI double. Levonic chops this one foul. It's 1-2. Brooklyn Levonic, true freshman for Wichita State. Going against one of the best in Landry. Levonic ends up keeping that one fair. They're going to rule that one foul. Looks like they do indeed call it foul. Well, for a moment, it was close to staying in there, but just a smidge to the left. Another look. Yeah, very clear. Good effort. Go for a third by Macaron Marina as Garcia reaches on a fielder's choice.
It's always ideal to get the lead runner, so works out pretty well.
Now here I was assuming Ella Parker would be the one coming up for Oklahoma. How dare I assume that, because we see Corey Hicks, a freshman from San Jose, California.
That's for the Sooners, number 99, Corey Hicks.
One of 9 freshmen for this Oklahoma team. Well, here at the DP position, we've seen different players. We started with Ella Parker. Tia Malloy came in the third, struck out. Ella Parker came back in the fifth, had an RBI single. And now here we see Corey Hicks.
Woo.
Hicks swings through that one, 0-2. This is her 12th appearance this season. At bat number 10, she only has 1 hit. But a chance to get some playing time here for Oklahoma. And she stays alive by fouling that one off. Talked about how all these Oklahoma players have some sort of connection to other collegiate players. Well, her sister, Jamie, plays softball at Fresno State.
It just keeps on coming.
And her dad played basketball at Oregon, actually. Served as a captain as a senior.
They're all just stars.
And back to Barker here for Oklahoma. She came in for Sydney Sanders early on in this one. Oklahoma probably thinking, hey, let's get some more reps for these freshmen. But then Wichita State came back. Got within a couple. And then 5 in the fifth. Oklahoma probably thinking, hey, here we go. Leading by 7. And now that's been trimmed to 4.
Good pitch.
Good eye for Barker, though. This is the only spot in the lineup that has failed to be able to get on the bags for Oklahoma today. A combined 0 for 4 for the number 6 spot. Although that could change as Sliger deals and misses once again. .3-0 from Sliger. Barker taking that one the entire way. .3-1. Barker gets a piece. Here's Sliger battling back. Barker this year, in her first season of collegiate softball, .324 batting average. This is her 25th appearance. A 4-hit day for Jody Epperson.
And against OU, what an impressive feat.
This could be a good turning point for Jody Epperson. She has been seeing the ball well against UTSA. She ended up producing 5 hits. Her career, Sammy Hood approaching the plate for Wichita State with a 3-run homer back in the 3rd. Sammy Hood 1 for 3. Popped up in the 2nd, struck out swinging in the 4th, but sandwiched in there was that 3-run homer in the 3rd, and she got a hold of that one back then. And if she gets one here, so this is all your fault, is what I'm hearing.
Hey, this is a good game.
16 runs. That's a season best for Wichita State. The previous high was 15 against Bowling Green. And a 15-4 win. Here's one down the left field line. For sure would have been gone if it was just a little bit to the right. Instead, Sammy Hood comes back to try to battle back after what would have been a homer. The 1-2 from Landry ends up dipping downstairs, and Sammy Hood continues to fight. .35 to generate the first out in the bottom of the 6th. Kristen Nelson, the number 9 hitter for Wichita State. The RBI single in the 2nd, grounded out to 2nd in the 3rd, walked in the 5th frame. Oklahoma fans a little bit disgruntled after that one. And just to turn to the new hitter. And Ellie Eck, as good of a day it was to at least to start with a solo home run, and she has struck out 3 times since. And Landry starts her off with a strike. But if Eck can go yard once again, we'll be knotted up at 19, which I did not expect to see going into this one here today. Both offenses have brought it. And Landry really bringing it now, getting the outside corner. Ellie Eck making the return trek back home from nearby Andell. Big spot here for her. Loud pop that time for Landry. The 1-2, Eck with a check swing, did not go around, and she has evened the count to 2-2.
Now, I will say, there's just something about those Oklahoma pitchers. They always seem so composed, so calm. I mean, on the mound, they're.
That was a tough one there, showing the speed, but I bet Christy Bremer will take a look, and it sure looked like there was some separation. Just a little bit. Looks like they're not going to go look at it. And they're going to rule that as an error. And now it's a hit for Oklahoma. That's the fourth one. This is Isabella Emmerling. She had a home run back in the third. RBI single in the first. Flew out to center in the fourth, and the fifth walked. Sliger hanging in there. Coming into the game, replacing Chloe Barber, who took a shot off her wrist. Hopefully she's okay for Wichita State. Shocker fans might remember what happened yesterday with Riley Neihart, as she took a shot right off the shin. Runner goes. This one fouled by Emmerling. It's been an amazing game here in Wichita, 19-16. It's been a marathon. First pitch taking place at 6 o'clock, and here we are getting ready for 9 here at Wichita.
It's been a long one, but it's been fun.
It's been worth it, though. That record-breaking crowd has to be loving every second. I know there have been some in right field that have moved away from the bleachers, but those that are hanging around are enjoying every second. This has been worth the price of admission. Sliger went inside, and Emmerling trying to work in another walk. Not to go home, so a wise tag applied, and there are 2 down in the 7th.
Number 16, Abigail Tatum.
Well, if you are Oklahoma, an extra run here, an insurance run would do wonders if you are the Sooners.
Yes. Wichita State has been able to produce offensively really well today, so, you know, you might need to get a couple cushion runs.
With the way that this game has been going, no doubt.
Oh, you could do it.
And Wichita State has been able to score in every inning, which is why, if you're a Shocker fan, you're hanging on to that hope. Dayton's turn at the plate. It's 1-1. Sliger took some off that one. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Both teams, their pitching staff today has been able to use their fast and their changeups, or, you know, their slower moving pitches to their advantage. I mean, going from fast to slow is really hard, and it throws people off, and a lot of both teams' strikeouts have been off of that, you know, that slow pitch.
Really been putting individuals in what you would call a rocking chair, because these hitters have been trying to keep up with it all. And the offense would definitely tell you, hey, they've been doing just fine. But even then, you've still seen flashes here from both pitching staffs. Now, rarely do you comment on, pitching when it's 1916,
Yeah.
but there have been some